Hello, everyone. This is Chuck Folkart on January 3rd, and I want to welcome all the new subscribers. There's quite a few, and anyone new here watching the channel, welcome. Hey, after making this video on the toilet in the ISS, I got to thinking about some of the previous Apollo missions and such, but before we go there, let's look at this. This is the video shot a few days ago.
Hello, and welcome to the toilet of the International Space Station. Let's say you're up here on ISS and you need to go to the restroom. You want to come
See that?
And the first thing you want to do
Got plenty of room in there.
grab this piece of equipment
And we don't need to go anymore. I just want to give you a little preview. Not sure how I got here, but I got here, and it's David Renicki's World of Space and Astronomy. And I was looking at this. This is the Apollo 11 spacecraft. And I was scrolling down here, and it says here, right here. So here it says Apollo 11, the first moon landing mission in July 1969. I was in high school then. Produced a number of iconic quotes such as, I think it's the eagle has landed. And the other one is, that's one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. And I think they left one out, and the other one is Houston. Houston, we got a problem. And I'm going to tell you what that problem is here in a minute. So they're saying we can add another quote here, and it's called smelly waste to that list. Curators working at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. uncovered the short but perhaps notable quip, among other unexpected inscriptions written on the walls inside Apollo 11 Command Module Columbia. And this is what they say here. Smelly waste, a warning seemingly written by one of the Apollo 11 actornauts, was found with other writings on the inside walls of the Command Module Columbia during its 3D scan. By writing smelly waste on there, we presume that the actornauts were warning themselves they probably should open this locker again at their own peril and probably leave it closed. And you can see they got a lot of other blah blah here, and they got, they want you to believe that all this actually took place, and the writing on the wall and the blah 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 blah. And let's go over to the So we're at Apollo 11 on Wikipedia. That's a credible source, of course. And I'm not going to read all this. It just goes on, all the blah, 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 blah. But look at this. The launch date, the beginning of the mission here, was July 16th at 13:32 UTC. And the landing date was July 24th. 1969, 1650, and so the total length of the mission was, I think it's down here, eight complete whole days. So these three guys here, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, were in the command module on and off for a total of 8 full days. I think it says right here, can't find it now. There it is. Mission duration 8 days, 3 hours, 18 minutes, 35 seconds, blah, 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 blah. And then here we are at Command Module and Apollo Command and Service Module. And it talks about the two spacecraft, and you can come back and read this later if you're of interest. But the point I want to get down to, there was only a very small part of the module that they could actually use for the human occupation. They had this thermal protection shield, and they have this other equipment, and forward compartment, and aft compartment, the landing system, and all this other stuff. And I want to get down here. I typed in right down here in the bottom, waste management system, and we're going to go to that. Okay. Here's the cabin interior arrangement. Now keep in mind that on the ISS, that bathroom they had there, the outhouse they called it, the whatever it was, the toilet. Here we go. The central pressure vessel of the command module was its sole habitable compartment. It had an interior volume of 210 cubic feet. That's 5.9 cubic feet squared. That's 6 by 6 by 6 meters, right? 5.9, not quite 6 meters. Housed the main control panels, crew seats, guidance and navigation systems, food and equipment lockers, and the waste management system.
And so that's what happens. You can sit here when you want to use it for that version of it. And basically there's a little bit of suction that comes down there to help keep pretty much the smell from coming up and everything else from coming up while you're using it. And we use little packets here that fit into the hole that fits on top here. These packets go in here. You use one of these packets, of course, and when you're done with the packet, you wrap it up and push it back in there. And about every 8-9 days, that becomes full, and we put a new one in. That also gets then thrown down in the PMM for our trash, and hopefully on a cargo vehicle that's all done, that's going to burn up on the way in. We put those on there, and it's done. For urination, you got to go there. Of course, that's why it's yellow. It's a standard. It's a suction. Basically, there's almost like a wet back in the back here. That's the way I look at it. And so it separates, it has suction on it, and it separates the water.
Now you notice this guy's not wearing a spacesuit, so he can use all that equipment in there.
Of course, goes to urine processor.
He's going to tell you how long it's been in use here in a moment.
And that's the way. So it's a nice system. It actually works quite well. We had some issues early on, but now it's been working really, really well. Knock on wood. Exactly for that. We're happy about that. Yeah, but you know, it's a robust system. It's not complicated. It was probably built 40 some years ago, or designed, and it still seems to work pretty.
Just to make sure I'm not making a mistake here, this is a command service module, one of the two spacecraft, along with the lunar module. It's the one they said they landed on the moon with, used for the United States Apollo program, which landed astronauts on the moon. And after the module lunar program, the CSM, this thing here, command service module, saw manned service as a crew shuttle for the Skylab program and the Apollo-Soyuz test program, in which an American crew rendezvoused. How do you pronounce that? And docked with a Soyuz spacecraft. Boy, blah, 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 blah. I have a hard enough time speaking English. But anyway, this is what they're telling us. Inside of this is enough for the crew to be in there, and they had a waste management system in there. Now keep in mind that I told you on an earlier video that every piece of evidence we get that to use against them to prove that they never went to the moon and there is no ISS and the Apollo missions and all that were a bunch of lies, we're going to get it from them. Now, I scrolled down here. I typed in Apollo 11. There it is right there in Google. And we know that Google wouldn't lie to us, right? And here we got the three guys, the three astronauts. What is it? John Glenn? No. That's the other dude. Neil Armstrong, Aldrin, and Steve Collins. And I want you to notice something here. They don't show us a picture anymore like they used to. This is, all three of those men were in that capsule, and that's the one that came back from space, right? This is the lunar module. And you notice what we don't see? But before I go to that, I get ahead of myself here. They're always wearing these space suits, okay? Keep that in mind for a moment here. These are pretty complicated pieces of clothing they got to put on. They got to put that helmet on. And I think they got to wear that while they're inside of this space capsule, right? They're inside of this little thing here, and they're all wearing these spacesuits. And we don't see any more like we used to of them all in there at one time together. They're always outside. They're always on the moon. They're, you know, we got a bunch of pictures that's supposed to be on the moon, blah, blah, blah. We got them then in the spacesuit with the round Earth in the background. It's all propaganda. There they are, spacesuits again. We never see them inside the craft. Okay, and there's a picture down here I'm trying to find. I want to show you of the Soviets coming up here pretty quick. There they are in the quarantine. They're all inside taking pictures. Oh, Mr. Nixon comes up. He's there for the photo op. There's a picture down here I want to show you if I can get to it. There in the spacecraft, spacesuits. There's the parade. Here we are. This is the one I want to show you. So here's the photo op. This is supposed to be the 3 Soviet astronauts, and they're all sitting in their capsule, right? And I don't want to be too graphic here, but you know, Moscow, we got a problem. I don't know this guy's name here, but he's got to take a dump. Now you tell me, where's the waste management system on this on the module here? Now you mean to tell me 3 guys, 3 grown men, they get inside of this capsule and they're up in space for a total of 8 days plus a few hours, and they've got a waste management system inside of there? You know, the more we look at this, folks, this thing is a big hoax. This is on display now at the Smithsonian. I've been there. It's a pretty impressive place. Everything hanging up from the ceiling and all the spacecraft and all that stuff. But that was before I knew what was going on. Houston, we got a problem. Our space suits are full of shit, and so are we. Hey, before I go, I wanted to mention something about the Antarctica. There's something big going on down there, and I'm going to look into it a little bit more, but it's caught my interest, and I've got something I want to show you. And also, don't be surprised if we don't get an alien landing, and they're going to pull something big here pretty quick. They got to make their move, and before more people wake up, there will be some people that will never get it, but more and more are starting to get it. And so they're going to have to make their move pretty quick, and I think it's going to be from space, or maybe the Antarctica, or maybe a little bit of both. So that's just a heads up. Thank you for watching. Embrace the love of the truth. And may Yahweh's grace be with us all, for we certainly need it. See ya.